Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest Bethesda news, rumors, and speculation. Remember, my camera is having issues, so you won't be seeing it really for the entirety of my videos until next week when I will get that fixed and taken care of. However, no doubt I still have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about in today's video. Sunday is usually one of the slowest days of the week in terms of gaming news because nothing new really ever happens over the weekend. However, I did discover some new and interesting stuff to talk about, including some unexpected things like Fallout Van Buren, which is a game that some of you who are OG Fallout fans may get excited and just suddenly start overdosing on the remnants of skooma that are already in your system just upon hearing the name Fallout Van Buren, because I do have something to talk about in regards to some content regarding that game in today's video. And on top of that, I have some more obvious Starfield speculation stuff, of course, and I will be talking about AVOWED also. I will be starting to talk about other RPGs outside of Bethesda, although Bethesda will no doubt remain a certain large percentage and focus of my channel, but I do want to branch out a bit, so I will be talking a little bit about AVOWED today, and we'll finish today's video up with an interesting discovery that I think is just inherent into how much Microsoft is boosting and affecting Bethesda and Bethesda Game Studios in a positive way. But let's not waste any more time and get to today's information. First off, yes, I do want to begin by talking about the Fallout Van Buren news, because there is news regarding some future Fallout Van Buren content, but don't get too excited like the old developers of the original Baldur's Gate and Fallout games aren't coming together to make something here, but this is a very interesting project. But before I get to the new information, I'll do a TL doctor real quick of what Fallout Van Buren is for those that don't know. But essentially, after Fallout 2, before Bethesda ever got involved with Fallout in any way, their next new sequel, their original plan for a sequel to Fallout 2 was Fallout Van Buren. Fallout Van Buren would have essentially been Fallout 3, and it would have played more similar to the original Fallout games, meaning Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, that over-the-top game, that over-the-top style, and obviously it's still set in the same Fallout universe that Bethesda Game Studios does, but Fallout Van Buren would have no doubt taken the Fallout franchise in an entire different direction than what Bethesda Game Studios did, and I personally like both takes on Fallout. I like the original Fallout games. I like what Bethesda Game Studios does as well. No doubt, BGS does a much better job with a modern take on Fallout, just in my opinion. This is just my opinion here. You don't need to start going crazy or anything, but Fallout Van Buren did get cancelled, and essentially was going to be the sequel from the original developers and stuff for the most part of the Fallout franchise and other legendary games like Baldur's Gate and stuff. But unfortunately, it was cancelled due to just a few things. However, like we all know, Bethesda Game Studios 5 years later picked up the Fallout franchise and made Fallout 3. Actually, it was just a few years later, and they worked on Fallout 3 for a while, and now here we are with how things are going with Fallout 76 and Fallout 5 not existing for who knows how long. Personally, I like Fallout 76, but I just like single-player games a little bit more than multiplayer games. But no doubt, now you know what Fallout Van Buren is, and these are actually a few images from a early development of Fallout Van Buren, and this is essentially what the game would have looked like. However, for those of you that were excited for Fallout Van Buren and just essentially are in that Fallout Van Buren cult, like the Mythic Dawn, where you just are trying to resummon the original Black Isle developers to make Fallout Van Buren, don't worry, because you actually will get to experience this story written by the Black Isle developers, but made by modders, and this will be in the Fallout New Vegas engine. For those of you who like Fallout Van Buren and Obsidian, which you probably do, you should be hyped just to hear the fact that Fallout New Vegas is going to be involved in this in any way. However, this mod will be called Revelation Blue, and it will try to stay as true as possible to the original Fallout Van Buren story. Fallout Van Buren had some interesting gameplay mechanics for its time, like a kind of overhauled melee mechanic and a fatigue system, which would have been exciting. I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to try to implement that kind of stuff into this Revelation Blue mod, if they're trying to stay true to Fallout Van Buren. Maybe there will be a more overhauled hand-to-hand and melee system in Revelation Blue, or something beyond what the general Bethesda Game Studios engine would do, or what you would expect to see from anything made with the Creation Engine. But no doubt, this is going to be hype for anyone who just wants to experience what more or less a canon story of a cancelled Fallout sequel would have been before Bethesda Game Studios picked it up. Like I said, I love the original Fallout games. I love what Bethesda Game Studios is doing with the more modern take on Fallout, and and it's just hype to see something that could have been in the gaming industry and no doubt would have definitely made an impact. It's interesting to finally see what this could have been, except obviously it's being made by different people and in a different engine and will not be anything like these images that I'm showing you because it's made in the Fallout New Vegas engine. But anyway, that finishes up the Fallout Van Buren stuff that I wanted to talk about in today's video. Let's move on to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is some crazy Starfield speculation stuff. However, a lot of people do already know the, I guess, context and the conclusion to this situation, but I still no doubt get people sending this my way in DMs, and I see people talking about this on Reddit and everything else. So I do want to mention this real quick, but basically people discovered that 2 Starfield subreddits were created and then instantly made private, and these Starfield subreddits were r/Starfield game and r/Starfield mods. And of course, anytime anything regarding Starfield pops up, you have a bunch of websites talking about it, a bunch of videos being made about it, people making Twitter posts about it, acting like it's some kind of confirmed official stuff. But this isn't. Although I guess at first it would seem like this would be an official thing, right? Because it seems like it looks official. r/Starfield game seems like that would be what Bethesda Game Studios would name the official subreddit for Starfield. But you can see right down here there is the actual real explanation here. Basically, the moderators and administrators of r/Starfield, which is not an official Starfield subreddit, it's a fan subreddit, by the way, and is the biggest fan Starfield subreddit right now. I no doubt you've probably heard of it and seen me talk about certain posts in my videos. But anyway, you can see people down here said that they made r/Starfield game as a response to getting removed by the previous top mod, the previous administrator of the r/Starfield subreddit. Fortunately, that moderator, that administrator has stepped down, and we're back in control here at r/Starfield, so r/Starfield game will continue to stay unused. So basically, what happened was there was like some kind of Caesar level dictatorship administrator or something going on here at r/Starfield. So, and apparently this person kicked a lot of staff out of the subreddit, so the staff decided to make their own, which was r/Starfield game. Only I guess that administrator was assassinated by the Dark Brotherhood, or they stepped down or something, and now all those admins and mods that were removed from r/Starfield are now back at r/Starfield. So r/Starfield game is just essentially a private and just abandoned subreddit right now. It was just made in response to political turmoil over on Reddit, so I guess that's an explanation I would have expected. And then if you're curious what r/Starfield mods story is, it said down here that no one actually knows what that is. No one knows who made that. It has no connection to r/Starfield or r/Starfield game, so it's an anomaly here. Probably someone made it because they want to just have the leading Starfield mod channel after the game comes out, because no doubt Starfield is going to have a huge modding community like every other Bethesda Game Studios game. That's probably what's going on here. So don't get too excited. r/Starfield game is not official. r/Starfield is not official, and I'm 99.5% certain that r/Starfield mods is also not official. So don't believe a lot of the clickbait going on right now, and I'm so tired of saying r/Starfield blah 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 that I'm going to move on to the next thing I want to talk about in today's video, which is AVOWED, of course. AVOWED is getting the Starfield inside statement treatment because there's a bunch of insiders now saying different things about AVOWED. You got insiders saying AVOWED will be at E3 2021. You got insiders saying AVOWED won't be at E3 2021, and then you got insiders somehow saying the game will be out this year. First of all, I highly doubt AVOWED will be out this year. It's probably going to be a while, but we might get another trailer this year. I don't know. I have no connections about AVOWED or anything like that. However, it seems like some people that do are saying some things, like Jeff Grubb, who is someone I've talked about in previous videos. They're basically a trusted Microsoft insider who definitely has some connections and has been right about a bunch of stuff. Jeff Grubb said that AVOWED will not be at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase on June 13th at E3 2021. So we got one credible insider saying it won't be there. However, a different insider over on Reset Era named Sponger, I guess, said that the game is almost fully on schedule and that it, I guess, would be at E3 based on information they had. And then another insider, Nate Drake, which is someone I've talked about before, who's also talked about Starfield. I guess they're trusted over at Reset Era somehow. This insider, Nate Drake, says that he did more digging, and it does appear Jeff Grubb's info was more up to date, as AVOWED no longer appears to be on the E3 2021 docket. I don't know if there's some kind of like secret docket that's floating around to all these different insiders or something, but that might be the case here. But nonetheless, Nate Drake says that it definitely was considered for E3, but hopefully it's removed removal means that we see it sooner rather than later at another Microsoft event. So basically, it seems like all the insiders are now suddenly agreeing because Jeff Grubb said something that AVOWED won't be at E3. And I would trust Jeff Grubb more than anyone else. I mean, Nate Drake, I guess, is trusted over at Reset Era, but Reset Era is one of those give or take situations where some stuff is legit, some stuff isn't. So it's like all this insider crap, you gotta take it with that speculation salt, no matter how credible someone is. And here we go. It seems like first we had Starfield and Elden Ring with these insider statement miscommunication things, and now AVOWED is joining that circus. But I mean, this is how it goes, right? Because Microsoft is a big company here, and then, of course, you got Obsidian, who's the developer, and you got Bethesda, who's the developer, and then you got Bethesda Softworks and all the other studios. So there's a lot of different people here, a lot of different possible sources who have connections to their direct circle, meaning like an Xbox Microsoft connection knows what Microsoft knows, but Microsoft may not know as much about Starfield or AVOWED as, let's say, Bethesda would know about Starfield or Obsidian would know about AVOWED. So it's like some of these insiders probably are getting credible information from credible sources, but their sources are with Microsoft, and a Microsoft source wouldn't have as much information as, let's say, a source direct to the game developer, and that's what I think is going on here with Starfield and AVOWED now, apparently, and Elden Ring, and just life in general. It seems like everyone has confusing information. Your doctor tells you you can do something that's healthy, and then your other doctor tells you it would make your face turn into a squirrel that would then try to overthrow world governments. But nonetheless, let's move on from AVOWED, and let's talk about something else here. The last thing I want to talk about in today's video, I'm going to go through real quick. I'm gonna block some of this because I am signed up to Bethesda Game Studios and just basic Bethesda Softworks job posting alerts, so that way if they do post any new job postings or if they repost anything, I get updated via email. And that's what happened here. I'm basically blocking out my City and State stuff here, but as you can see, in the last couple of days, there have been a ton, like a basic shit ton of job postings from various Bethesda studios. A lot from Bethesda Game Studios here, a lot from ZOS, some from id Studios, some from Arcane, basically a lot from everyone. But from what I'm seeing here, the majority seems to be based in Rockville, Maryland for ZeniMax Online Studios and Bethesda Game Studios. And what that tells me here is that the development cycle for The Elder Scrolls 6 and also that new unannounced MMORPG from ZeniMax Online Studios is definitely in full swing. Obviously, that's been like what the majority of the gaming community and the Bethesda community believed already. We believe Starfield was in like the last bug testing phases of development and will no doubt come out early or late next year at the latest, if not surprisingly this year, which I don't think is going to happen. But basically it's going to come out soon, meaning Starfield is basically done with the majority of its development phase, and we already know TES 6 is the next major game from Bethesda Game Studios. So basically we could have already safely assumed TES 6 was in the full development phases. But now with all these job postings, it seems like not only is it definitely in the full development phases, but also they have some pretty high expectations and targets for this game. That gets me super excited because Starfield is no doubt going to have the most in-game systems more than any other Bethesda Game Studios game that we've seen in the past, and a lot of, or at least a few Bethesda Game Studios developers have been quoted as saying this game is huge and one of the most ambitious things in gaming yet. So with how huge and with how like groundbreaking Starfield seems to be, I'm already excited for TES 6 because it's no doubt going to double that, probably. But it seems like we're in a golden age of Bethesda Game Studios and just Bethesda Softworks as a whole, because we can already see just how much these companies are expanding. All these different Bethesda studios, even outside of Bethesda Game Studios, are expanding greatly, and this has basically started to happen after that Microsoft announcement. I mean, billions and billions of dollars, what was it, like $7 billion or something? No doubt that's going to allow a company to expand a bit, and it seems like Bethesda is no doubt putting that money to good use. Like I said, this specific partnership between Bethesda and Microsoft makes sense, and it'll no doubt not only usher in a golden age of Bethesda and all their studios, but gaming as a whole, and I'm hyped for that. Hopefully you are hyped as well, and that's going to finish up today's video. As always, remember, my face cam should be back in my videos sometime next week, as long as my RMA'd graphics card actually works this time. They sent me one that was dead on arrival because it was refurbished, but nonetheless, EVGA has been awesome to work with. Huge shout out to EVGA, they're doing great. and I have good faith that this new card that I'll be getting tomorrow should work. But nonetheless, like I said, that's going to finish up today's video. As always, if you're hyped for Starfield and just gaming in general, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn notifications on. And as always, huge shout out and much appreciation to the following amazing people for going above and beyond to support the channel and bring you content like this. Like I said, I do plan on updating this list. I'm sorry for not updating it in a bit. I've had some issues with this backup PC and some of my my stuff on like Google Drive disappearing and stuff, so I have to redo all this list, but I will update this list with everyone who is on it now and everyone who has supported the channel in the last month or so. So I promise you we'll see this updated list soon once I get that new graphics card. All you gotta do to get a permanent feature video shout out at the end of every single one of my videos is to support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Todd Howard assumes control directly, and no, I don't like that.
It just works.